Hi everyone, so today we're going to be looking at chart 2 of our handwriting joins. As you can see, there's a few more than chart 1, but we're going to do it in exactly the same way as before, using either the double lines if you prefer double lines or single lines if you prefer single lines. I will show you both for an example, and if you want you can always do both as well. So let's begin. The first line, if we have a look, is starting with the letter I, and we've got H, M, N, B, P and R, and then going down we've got I, L, T and U. So obviously before we start, make sure that you're sitting properly, you're sitting up nice and straight, and you've got the correct pencil grip. So IH, starting at the scared monkey. We go down, all the way up, push down the line, over, down and flick. Don't forget your dot for the I at the end. Down, up, down, over, down, flick, and I at the end. Now, as always, the most important thing is that you get your letter formation and your sizing correct. That's much more important than rushing to be the first to finish. So we're looking for correct letter formation and handwriting, not rushed. And as mentioned previously, I would do one line if you're using the double lines, or you can use two lines if you're doing the single lines. That's how it looks on the double line. And if I move on to my single lines, again it's a bit harder because the lines are smaller, but you've still got that template there to help you. And I would do two lines of these all the way along to the end. I'm just not going all the way along because otherwise you'll be watching me forever. Now the second one is IN. We go down and then into our M. Remembering that flick at the end because that helps with any extra joins that we might learn and do later on. And again on the single lines. And again, I can do two lines of them. The next group that we're going to look at is IN. Now, because I haven't got 24 lines here, you'll be able to use another piece of paper. I'm just going to use the second part of the line here so I'm not wasting paper. But obviously you can start on a new line and carry on there and just use two pieces of paper. So IN, it's very similar to IM, except we don't continue the joins there, so it's just one with that flick at the end. Let's look at that again. So I, N, so start in the middle at the scared monkey, down, up, straight, push down on that line, over, flick, add that I at the end. And on the single lines, exactly the same, just smaller, remembering you're not going above that middle part where that scared monkey is. You're staying in the bottom, sort of middle bottom part of the line. Okay, great. The next one is IB. So let's start that here. Straight down, and this time all the way up to the top, before pushing down and over. Now when you're using the double lines, this does feel a bit weird because it feels very big, but when you have a go on the single lines, the normal lines that we have in our books, you'll see that it fits much better. So all the way up, push back down, over and pull back. Or on the single lines, so your second part of your B is the same height as the I. Next one looking at is IP. So I'm going to use the same line just so I'm not wasting space. This time it's a bit different because it is a descending letter, so the P is going to go down onto the line below. So we'll start the I as we have been, and this time the P you go up and then you push all the way down to that middle line below and do your dot at the end. Push down. Like that. Remembering your dots always, it looks a little bit like a U squished against it. And on my single line, see, I'm just going down to where the scared monkey is on the line below. Like that. And I'm just stopping and checking it to make sure that it's all lined up properly and that I'm forming my letters correctly. So the last one on this line is the IR, or the sound, which we use in our phonics. So we go down and over. Down, push up, pull back down, up and over. Not forgetting your dot at the end. Like that. Or again on the single lines. And you can see, even though I've had my letter P descend, I've still got space to do my I and my R. Great, that's one line done. Just another 3 to go. So the next one that I'm looking at, this time we're looking at the group starting with L. So we've got LH, LM, LN, LB, LP and LR. So let's start a new line here. So these are using our ascending letters, which means that they're touching, the L is an ascending letter, it's touching the top of the line. So similar to the I, but I'm starting at the very top up at Brave Monkey. I'm going all the way down, and then I just go all the way back up for that H, then push down the same line and over with that flick at the end. just like that. On the single lines, starting at the top and H with the flick. Moving on, the next one is LM. So again, just starting at the top. And then up, back down where we were, over to the bottom of that line, over again, and flick. Of course, because I'm not doing the whole line, if you need to pause the video so that you can finish the line before you go on to the next one, that's absolutely fine as well, rather than trying to remember every single way of doing it before you have a go. One more. And again, if we have a look on the single lines, checking that I'm not going any higher than that scared monkey. And remembering my flick at the end. The next one is LN, so quite similar to LM. Starting at the top, go down, up and push back down, over, flick. So a bit shorter than LM. There we go. And on the single lines, the next one that I've got is LB. So I'm going to just use the rest of this space here, but you would use a new line. So L, and then this is 2 ascending letters, so I need to go all the way back up to the top, just like I did with that H to begin with, and over, making sure that the top of my B doesn't go over that middle line. And I think I can probably squeeze one more in there. There we go. Or if you're using the single lines, all the way up, push down and round, pull it back. In my head as well, I'm starting to think about some words that I know that have these sounds in them that I can always write at the end as a practice. So I know if I think about LB, the first word that comes to my head is the word bulb. Now I don't know how to join the B and the U, so I would keep those separate, but then I could use my LB to join them up like that. Or for the sound, I know the word bird, so again I could have the B and then the D. Although I've left a bit of a gap there, so I'd probably do that a bit closer because it is one word. There we go, that's better. So at the end, when you're thinking of your own words, there's a couple of examples that I've done for you. Okay, moving on, we've got LP next. So we've got an ascender with a descender. So starting at the top, so using all the lines here, up, and then P just up to that scared monkey, then pushing down to the line below and over. Oh, that one went a bit wobbly there. That's fine, I can do it again, it's not a problem. That's why we're practicing. Looking good. And again on the single lines. Great, that one's probably a bit too low, so I'd probably want to make that a bit shorter next time, that stalk, but that's fine. And the last one for this group is LR. So just up to the middle line and then over like that. And again, if we're looking at that on the single lines, now I've got to space this a bit carefully so that it doesn't cross over with the P, but that's fine. You can see I'm doing my L sort of in between. And that's our L's done. Now the next line that we're looking at, so we're halfway through, well done guys, is joins with the T. So actually these are really similar to the L, we just need to remember to cross the T. So we've got TH, which loads of our words have TH in them, so this is a really good one, a really handy one to know. TM, TN, TB, TP and TR. So again, the T and the H are both ascenders, so you're going to use the whole space here, so I'm just going to fill it in between where I've got my P's. So just like I did with the LH, it's the exact same, I just need to remember to do my cross at the end, cross my T. So I won't speak too much through these ones because they're exactly the same as the L group that we've just done. The only difference is I'm remembering to cross the T at the end. So TH. And the cross starts where that scared monkey is. And again, like I've said, make sure it's at a bit of an angle, because when we learn to do joins from the middle of T's later, that's where that angle will come in handy. Okay, fold that one over. The next one that we're going to be looking at is TM, and I'll just do that on the same line. But you can do it on a new one. So exactly the same as the LM join, just remembering that cross on the T. And again on the single line, just folded that over so you can see it a bit more clearly at the top. And the next one is TN. Remembering that cross. And when I'm coming back down, making sure I'm going over some of where I've already written. Oh, almost forgot my cross there. And again on the single line. Great. The next one is TB. So 2 centers again, so all the way down, then all the way back up, push down that same line and over, cross your T. Oh, left the bottom off there a bit. And on the single lines, that looks like this. Two more to go on this group, so we've got TP. And again, I'm just going to fold this over so that I can move it a bit closer to the camera. So TP, I folded it too far now. Let's start here. Goes down to the line below, and remember that cross. On the single line, it looks like this. And then the last one in our group is TR. So again, I'm just going to use the rest of this line. You start a new line. So down and over, remember that cross at the end. And again, TR is a really common join that we use quite a lot. And on the single line. And again, if I can think of any words, so think of the word true, I would have my TR join, my U and my E. So the last group that we're looking at all starts with a U, so you've got UH, UM, UN, UB, UP and UR. We start with UH. And again, I'm just going to do this between where my P is so that I don't get confused and have it muddled up with it. So the U starts from the scared monkey, down, up, down, and then rather than doing the flick, we go all the way up and into the H. If you're doing that on the single line, so pull down, push up, pull down, and then push all the way up, pull it back down, push over and flick. So pull, push, pull, push up, pull, push over, flick. Okay, looking at UM. So then you go into the M and that flick at the end. You can see where I would normally do a flick, I'm just extending that flick up to the top. So that's why it's really important that we've been practicing the flicks on some of our letters. So it really, really helps us when we start joining them to other letters. So carry on that flick up to the top, down, over and flick. UM. And again, I'm just checking my letter size. And moving on to UN. It's actually not as long as the UM join. And again on the single line, that looks like this. The next one is UB. So I'll start that here. And then all the way up and then back down. So actually I've probably got a bit too much of a gap there, so I'll try that again. I want to try and go up and then down the same line. That's better. And I've got my chart here to look at as well, so if I'm not sure, I've got it there to look at. It's quite a difficult one, so you might need a little bit of practice on that one. It's definitely not my best. And on the single line, it's much easier actually when it's a bit smaller. So don't worry if you're having to go on the double line and you're finding it really tricky. Maybe swap to the single line and see if you can do it on that one a bit easier. Next on to UP. So I'll just do that here. As mentioned previously, if you want to swap between the two types of paper, that's absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong way of practicing, it's just all good practice, so it doesn't matter which paper you use. Already writing a word there anyway, aren't we? The word up, so that's great. There we go. And last one, well done guys, this has been quite a long one, so I'm super impressed that you've kept up so far, is you are. Let's use a new line for the last one. And just because it's the last one doesn't mean that I'm going to give up or speed through it. I'm actually taking my time, making sure it's just as good as all of the other ones that I've written. You are is also a really important join. It's the sound in our phonics, or the sound depending on what word it is. And again, finally on that single line, and there you go. What you can also do is you can have a little think about some words that have these joins in and have a go at writing it. So the main one that I think of when I think of UB is sub, as in a submarine or a Subway sandwich. So I could have a go at writing sub. Or with the UR join, I think of the word sure. Or for the TH join, there's so many. There we go, there's a great example. Thanks very much guys, can't wait to see your practice of Chart 2 joins.